Hi, everybody. So here I am again, and this time we're going to talk about an important topic for all of us, especially as it's the start of a financial year. But having said that, this is just not for businesses, this is for everything overall, right? The topic today, as you all know, and might have seen somewhere before coming into this episode, is that small habits make great impact, big impacts. And that is the key. So, today we are going to talk about habits and small habits that make big impacts. And big impacts is what we all thrive for, right? We aim for, we look for. Let it be a business, your personal growth, your financial growth, your passion, whatever you're trying, your hobby. You want to keep growing. As scientifically, it's very well known that we human beings are made to only to do things. Our existence revolves around two things. One is the relationships, the people, the society that you build around, coexistence. And the second is the need to grow, need to reproduce. That's another very critical thing. So we're talking today about something that's absolutely the need of existence for us to grow, to make a big impact in your own way. So like for me it would be about my fitness and health. For you it could be a business growth or a goal. For somebody else it could be about travel to many more cities. So growth exists in all aspects. So today we're going to talk about that. But before that, let me talk about habits because it all comes down to habits. Habits are the key for everything. Like if let's take as simple as your own home, right? The place you are in, the space, whatever the size, shape, location, region, anything it is, if it's your habit to keep it clean, if it's your habit to have uncluttered spaces, or your choice or your need to be, not habit, but the need to be there, then start identifying your habits. And they go with small things. Like every morning when you wake up, do you make up your bed before you get on to going on to the next chore of the morning? As simple as that. You look at habits that you have for yourself. The one thing that I keep telling my mentees, my clients, my friends, and my own colleagues, like people who I work with, the one thing is identifying your habits is the first step towards, rethinking it out, reworking it out, or building it. So the first thing, as we say, work on your habits. One very important thing is we have this, again, a very commonly done thing where we go about assuming that we're doing this, right? That's my habit. Very often it's happened when I ask leaders, when, founders, and I'm speaking, and I'm like, what's your daily day, a daily regular day at work? And most often it's very different. But they say, this is my habit, that's my habit, that's my habit. You kind of assume most of the things your habit. Habit is something that you keep repeating, come what may. Come what may. So start identifying your habits and then start looking at those habits in regards to how it is catering towards your end game or the bigger picture, right? I'm going to take this as an example. And I will take my own example, though I can take multiple examples of clients that I'm working with or business leaders that I've worked with. I would rather go with me myself because I have better, freedom to talk about my own example. So the first thing is when I decided that I was obese all my life, and then one fine day on my 50th birthday, 50th year of my life, I decided that I'm going to be fit, healthy, and on my ideal weight, right? So if I had to look at as the big goal, it would have been almost around 50 kilos that I had to lose, right? But then I don't know, right? It would have overwhelmed me. I would have just dropped the ball and said, no, yeah, I'm an obese person. It's hereditary. blah, blah, blah. All those things would have come in, all good reasonings. But I didn't. The first thing I did is I love walking. I love waking up in the morning. So I had this habit of waking up early in the morning. Even if I'm just lying in bed or getting up and sitting and having an early breakfast or having multiple emotional eating episodes. But I used to wake up early. So in all those bad habits or things that were wrong, I took that one habit which kind of catered to me. I woke up early. So I said, okay, first habit to tick off that I will continue to do is waking up early. Then when the waking up early happened, I did not go into big activities of recruiting a coach or going in for heavy workouts or in a fitness regime of some kind. I just said I'm going to walk. So when I woke up early, I was awake. I just put on my regular footwear and a dress and I started walking. Right? That was the first small habit. And fast forward 5 years now, like today, let it be my health, work, responsibility, anything. You will see me on my morning track. Come what may. So identify your habits and then look at those habits if they are catering you to a direction that you want to go. And if they're not, don't go fighting about removing the bad habits. Why do I have a bad habit? How can I undo the bad habit? Do not drain your energy out on that, but put all your energy focus into the good ones that you have and break it into much more smaller things, which will not be something that you will really worry about, but will actually find it pleasure in doing. Just like my 1,000 steps per day, waking up early was the habit I stuck to and added 1,000 steps for that. Like as simple as 1,000 steps, just get up and start walking. How that 1,000 became today 40,000, that's a different story. But then you start with it, right? So identify your habits, then keep the habits or focus on the habits that's catering to your growth, and then start doing them with pleasure. That's the first thing about it, right? Then now let's talk about very quickly how to identify the progress. Because in the end, when you take these small habits, the second most critical thing is consistency. And in this very recent times, I realized consistency is not doing it every day, no matter. Consistency is it's okay if you slip a day or two, but then finding your way back to it again without damaging or without breaking the routine of it is the key here. Consistency is that. In fact, my coach had to bring that to my awareness. I needed a coach. And then hence when we sat down and figured out me walking every day, and it was at a place where in a month, if I miss out 2 or 3 days, even a day every day, if I one day I don't go on my regular more routine, the whole day I'd be feeling miserable. I'd be saying, no, I'm not able to be consistent. I will never maintain this. I am that, pulling myself down. But figure your consistency formula. Say, okay, every week I do 3 days a week, and that's my consistency. So identify your small, tiny habits, good habits. First, identify your habits, then identify the smaller ones, break them into smaller habits, and then put your consistency formula there and get started with. Very often I hear this, and this time I'm going to take an example of businesses, right? Business startup founders. When we suggest change, when we suggest things that they have to start doing as a daily routine for their company, for their business, with their teams, it is always about, okay, let's figure this from next week on. Let's do this from next month, or let's do this from the next quarter. The fear that the fact that if you adopt something new, you might lose on whatever little bit you have. It's a lot for you to overcome. So most often it gets pushed. Hence, this breaking down to smaller habits makes it better for people to start doing it. There's no big impact, there's no big change, there's nothing, extremes that you're doing. So hence makes it easier, right? So get going with it immediately. If today, while you seeing this video, you feel that you have to start being a little bit more, one small habit of saving, 10% of everything that you earn from today in another account. And that's a small habit. 10% of whatever you're earning is not a big deal, or maybe even a 5% or 2%. I don't know what works for you. What looks simple, put that. Or, if you decide today that you're going to start having 3 liters of water every day, it's just water. You carry a bottle with you and have it. So for you, if that seems easy, in your personal business, anything, if today while watching this, if you think that there is this small habit that you have that you're going to stick on to or modify it and work towards this, put it up. Start it now, this very now. Because you'll see by the next time, the next week where I release my next video, you'd see your progress already in that field, right? So it's those tiny, small habits that go to make the impact. Today, I can look back 5 years down, 5 years down the line and say, I am this close, like literally tiny bit close to my ideal weight. I'm absolutely fit. I'm doing 10 kilometers per day, and all these beautiful things when I talk about the right eating and right doing things. It all started with that getting up early in the morning. And the same goes for founders. When you hear these great success stories, these media houses, when they write these brilliant unicorn stories, they are not talking about those small, silly things that the founders did. They're definitely not going to tell you that they did it for years and years and years to become the unicorn that they are. So do not look at what is projected to you and believe that that's what the story for you is, or otherwise it's nothing at all. Every great thing starts with that first step. I know these are all beautiful jargons we keep hearing from all over, but then get started, believe in it, and get going. That's the whole key. Thank you so very much. Subscribe to this channel and keep coming.